Call of Duty World War II is on its way to becoming released on November 3, 2017. Now, this video just shows my personal review towards the game, especially in the open beta, since I was able to take part on the open beta last October 1 to October 2. Anyway, so just stay tuned on this video. The Call of Duty franchise began as a World War II based first-person shooter game. It was developed by Infinity Ward during its first few titles, Call of Duty, Call of Duty II, and Call of Duty III. It was published by Activision until this day. With all honesty, the game has improved over the past decade, where players began to be intrigued by the release of its golden trilogy, the Modern Warfare series. Soon afterwards, the Black Ops duology was then released, furthermore increasing the player base of the franchise. Ever since the release of Call of Duty Ghosts, its player base began to diminish, until Call of Duty adapted the futuristic type of setting for Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and their recent title Infinite Warfare. Therefore, ever since the release of Advanced Warfare afterwards, Sledgehammer Games, its developer, began working on a new title that will bring back Call of Duty to its roots, World War II. Ever since its reveal on the 21st of April 2017, the reveal trailer for World War II gathered an astounding 1 million likes on its YouTube channel, thus the most number of likes from any Call of Duty reveal trailer ever made. Fast forward a few months later, the game released its open beta for PC on Steam during the dates of the 29th of September up to the 2nd of October 2017. I was fortunate enough to be able to take part of the open beta, and I am here today to give my remarks toward the said game, which will be released on the 3rd of November 2017. In terms of gameplay, Call of Duty World War II's open beta featured several remarkable World War II weapons famously known to most people. Examples include the Grease Gun, Lewis Gun, MP40, STG-44, M1 Garand, the M1897 Winchester Trench Gun, and the fan favorite PPSH-41, among others as well. This further got me intrigued into playing the multiplayer even more, since I enjoyed playing with the Grease Gun, although I actually wanted to play with the 1897, but it was too late, and other weapons as well. In terms of map gameplay, Team Deathmatch offered a certain number of well-detailed maps. Based on my personal perception, these maps enabled me to immerse myself into the battlegrounds of World War II. Overall, I believe my favorite map so far for Team Deathmatch has to be Pointe du Hoc, since it felt like it was one of the most iconic locations that took place during D-Day. The game also featured a new system of class picking in-game. This is known as divisions, which have their own certain distinctions among each other, and the part that really got me intrigued was their introductions. When you first start playing multiplayer, the game lets you choose which division you'll pick. While that's going on, a certain introductory video of each division will play, showing a representative of each division to introduce to you what the cause of their certain division is. I personally picked Mountain first due to the fact that I wanted to quickscope, but as I explored other types, I enjoyed Airborne, but what I really wanted to try was the Expeditionary Division. This is because I enjoyed the introducer's introduction regarding the division, as he was indeed French, and that's what got me intrigued.
Attention! Welcome to the Resistance. We do not have the luxury of time as our enemies are closing in, so I will be brief. We are the pioneers of a new expeditionary force, specializing in sabotage and covert operations. We operate by night, raiding supply points for weapons and explosives, including the incendiary shotgun shells that spark flames, creating a hailstorm of fire that consume our enemies. If you want to join us, you must be willing to sacrifice everything for the good of your countrymen. We are the French Expeditionary Force. We are the fire that will burn down the Ahrceus Empire to the ground. Vive la Résistance! Vive la France!
Moving on, the gameplay was smooth, the time to kill basis for each weapon was justifiable, no overpowered weapons based on my perspective. However, the incendiary shells for the Expeditionary Division may seem overpowered to most people and find it annoying, but in my case it isn't, due to the fact that players will only get a limited number of incendiary shells per respawn. Take note that this is only my personal opinion, and it is subject to change once the game is released. World War II features a new game mode called War, and by far, I have to be honest, it feels like a new experience. Personally, I love this game mode due to the fact that it allows players to immerse themselves in a war-filled environment. This specific game mode furthermore allowed me to give this game a bonus point. It was definitely amazing. Team Deathmatch felt like the same like every other COD, but honestly it wasn't too bad. I could get a few kills here and there, and overall it may not feel that excellent, but it feels alright, yeah. As for the other game modes, due to time constraints, I wasn't able to make a review on them. Though Call of Duty World War II's open beta seemed promising and full of potential, I have to remark some negative aspects that I would honestly like to give, so that in return, Sledgehammer Games may take these into consideration and may further improve the game's overall multiplayer experience for not only me, but for other aspiring players as well. First of many, this game offered a historically accurate experience. It offered, right? But this includes certain aspects that will fall under the subject of historical accuracy. For example, in multiplayer, the addition of female characters, I personally have no negative remarks about this, but for most people, they don't somehow agree with this type of addition to the game. Most are claiming that female soldiers never participated in the war or in the front lines, but I have to use some internet research towards this. According to libguides.mnhs.org/World War II women, beginning in December 1941, 350,000 women served in the United States Armed Forces during World War II. They had their own branches of services, including Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, later known as the Women's Army Corps or WAC or WAC, I don't know how to pronounce that, the Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP, and the Women Accepted for Volunteer Military Services or WAVES. Women also served in the Marines and in a branch of the Coast Guard called SPARS. They were actually just auxiliaries, but none served in the actual front lines. Maybe this is one of the reasons why most players argue about the said topic, but overall, hopefully that Sledgehammer Games would do something to improve the gameplay experience for some people affected by this. Personally, I am not affected at all. Anyway, moving back to the game, in terms of performance, I experienced certain lags and frame drops on certain games, while little to none in other games. Maybe this is because of my connection, but if not, hopefully that Sledgehammer Games could do something regarding this so that for those with PCs that may not handle the recommended settings for World War II, be able to play the game with ease. I am honestly planning to pay $60 for the game itself, hoping that this certain topic would be taken into consideration. Furthermore, it would be better if the game develops a better anti-cheat type of system, therefore disabling hackers from destroying the multiplayer experience for some. In addition, to enable some to not get annoyed by shouting players, hopefully the game features a better way of muting these players such that affected players would be able to mute them easily or such. Also, hopefully that Sledgehammer Games could do something about the matchmaking process. This isn't really a major component here, but maybe if it's possible that the game would be able to give us certain players of our level so that, you know, there won't be overpoweredness per team, but it's not really a major component, but hopefully it may be taken into consideration. Call of Duty World War II, in my own opinion only, has high potential to be the revival of the COD franchise. I am personally intrigued just by the campaign's trailer, so hopefully that the campaign would be able to live to its potential. As for the multiplayer, based on what I experienced during the open beta, hopefully the game continues to become better before launch, and that, if possible, Sledgehammer Games would be able to take my suggestions into consideration, especially the performance output, so that players, those players who got like lags and other frame drops would be able to get a smooth gameplay as well. So that's all for this video, everyone. I would personally rate like around 8.5 for the game's open beta, since I enjoyed it, but in the same time, there are certain aspects that I said must be taken into consideration so that I would be able to enjoy the game furthermore. Anyway, this is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully that you would stay tuned for more videos like this in the future. So don't forget to leave a like for Ahrceus, dislike for the glitch, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video, and hopefully that you'll stay tuned for more videos in the future. Good game to everyone.
Hey guys, my name is Vince the Vlogbird. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe